Imagine this moment. You are sitting within the TOEFL examination corridor. Your arms are a little cold. Your heart is beating speedy. And abruptly, the audio begins. No pause button, no replay, no second chance. You try and follow the speaker, but the words feel rapid, like water walking via your fingers. You trap a few sentences and lose others. You think, why is this so hard? Why can't I recall everything?
Whoa. Evelyn, that become intense. I felt like I changed into within the exam right now. My stomach even made a unusual sound.
I realize, Paul, many college students sense this stress. But today we're going to turn that fear into self-belief. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Mentor channel, in which learning English is simple and fun.
Hello, Evelyn. Hello, everyone. And I'm wonderful excited because today's subject matter is TOEFL Listening Practice with Answers. Finally, something to save my ears from confusion.
That's right. But before we get scanded, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us create trainings for you. Today's lesson will give you practice, answers, confidence, and a peaceful mind. Are you geared up?
Let's do it. My ears are open. My brain is trying its first best.
Great. Let's get scanded. TOEFL listening is one of the most stressful parts of the test, not because students are terrible at English, but because the audio moves fast. No pause, no repeat, just one chance. And here's the truth. Most students don't struggle with vocabulary. They struggle with pressure. They hear the first sentence, miss the second one, panic at the third, and abruptly everything feels lost.
Yes, exactly. When I panic, even easy English sounds like alien language.
And that's why today's topic matters. Listening is not only a test skill, it's a life skill. You need it for lectures, conferences, travel, teamwork, and real conversations. The good news is TOEFL listening becomes much less comfortable when you understand the structure, the strategies, and the patterns. And that's what we're going to provide you today, in simple English, with examples, stories, and clear answers.
So today is like TOEFL listening without pain?
Exactly. TOEFL listening with peace and with answers. Let me start with a quick story. Last year, I trained a student named Farah. She studied hard for TOEFL. She practiced grammar. She practiced reading. She watched English movies, but she never studied the TOEFL listening format. On test day, she opened the listening section and froze. She whispered to herself, "Wait, is this a lecture? Why is it so long? Why is the speaker talking like this?" She didn't understand the structure. And because she didn't understand the structure, she didn't understand the questions. After the test, she told me, "Evelyn, I prepared everything except the thing that mattered most amount."
Poor Farah. I can feel her pain. I could do the same thing. Focus on everything except the important part.
That's exactly why Section 1 is so important. Here's the simple fact. When you understand the TOEFL listening system, your brain feels calm. You know what to expect. You know the rhythm. You know the pattern. And all at once, the listening part becomes predictable, not scary. So here is the simple structure you should remember. TOEFL listening has two types of audio. 1. Campus conversations. Length, 2 to 3 minutes. Characters, student plus professor or student plus staff. Topic examples, homework problems, library rules, office hours, class registration, housing problems. Why it's easy? The vocabulary is simple. The tone is friendly. 2. Academic lectures. Length, 4 to 6 minutes. Characters. Teacher, teaching a topic. Topics. Psychology, biology, art history, astronomy, geology. Why it feels hard? The vocabulary is academic. The audio is longer. The speaker talks continuously.
Ah, I see. So the test is not random. It repeats the same types over and over.
Exactly. And the questions also follow patterns. Here are the main question types. 1. Main idea. 2. Detail. 3. Purpose. 4. Attitude. 5. Function. 6. Organization. 7. Inference. Once you learn these patterns, the listening test becomes a simple game. Actionable tips. 1. Before you listen, tell yourself, this will be a conversation or a lecture. 2. Listen for the beginning. It tells you the topic. 3. Don't try to understand every word. Focus on the big meaning. 5. Remember, TOEFL repeats patterns. You can learn them. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to understand the system. When the system becomes clear, your confidence becomes strong. Definition: main idea equals the most important point of the audio. Easy example sentence: the main idea of the lecture is to explain how volcanoes form. All right, everyone, it's time for practice. Don't worry, this is easy, friendly, and very close to what you hear in the real test.
Okay. Deep breath. My ears are ready. My mind is considering going for walks away, but I'm staying here.
You'll do top-notch. Here is your mini listening story. Listen carefully. You don't need to capture each word, simply the meaning. A pupil goes to talk with her professor after magnificence. Professor: Hi, Anna. How can I assist you?
Hello, Professor. I'm having problem knowledge the ultimate a part of today's lecture, the segment about animal migration.
Ah, yes, that's normal. Many students discover that part complicated. Basically, animals migrate to survive. They migrate to places with better meals or warmer weather.
So, the principal motive is survival?
Exactly. And don't forget, special species migrate for one-of-a-kind motives. Birds comply with temperature. Whales observe food. But the large concept is survival.
Okay, that makes it clearer. Thank you. Okay, I think I understood. Maybe? Probably 60%? Let's see the questions.
Here they are. Question 1. What is the principal reason of Anna's go visit? A. She desires to go back a book. B. She wants help understanding a part of the lecture. C. She desires to ask about homework. D. She desires to talk about the examination. Answers: B. She desires help knowledge the lecture. Question 2. What does the professor say about animal migration? A. Animals migrate because it is fun. B. Animals migrate to find friends. C. Animals migrate to survive. D. Animals migrate best in Winacy. Answers: C. Animals migrate to continue to exist. Question 3. What do different animals follow? A. Birds follow meals, whales observe climate. B. Birds observe temperature, whales observe food. C. Birds comply with water, whales comply with light. D. Birds follow the sun, whales observe other whales. Answers: B. Birds follow temperature. Whales observe food.
Wait, I got all three correct? Is this genius feels like?
Yes, Paul, this is genius for today. But let's break down why these solutions were easy to find. Simple explanation. In TOEFL listening, the main purpose is usually in the first 10 seconds. The big idea is repeated at least once. Details like birds follow temperature are often said slowly. The test wants to test if you understand meaning, not every word. You don't need perfect listening. You need smart listening. Tips. 1. Listen for repeated phrases like survive, purpose, follow. 2. The first question is often about purpose. 3. If the speaker says, basically, the big idea, remember, pay attention. 4. When you miss something, don't panic. Focus on the next idea. 5. For details, pay attention to numbers, lists, or examples. If you got even one answer correct, superb. If you got 0 right, also fantastic, because you practiced. Every time you listen, your brain becomes stronger. Every small practice is a step towards your dream score. Definition. Detail is a small piece of information from the audio. Easy example sentence. A detail from the audio is that whales follow food during migration.
Evelyn, can I confess something?
Of course, Paul. What is it?
My TOEFL notes look like a disaster. Random words, arrows everywhere. One time I even wrote a potato. I don't remember why.
Well, you aren't alone. Most college students write notes that make the whole lot extra difficult. But these days, we're going to restore that with a completely simple approach. Let me start with the small tale. The student who wrote too much. IEST once taught a scholar named Kareem. He was smart, inspired, very hardworking. But at some point of TOEFL listening, he continually wrote too much. Every phrase, every sentence, every example. He notioned extra writing supposed greater memory. But honestly, the extra he wrote, the less he understood. Why? Because while he wrote an excessive amount, he stopped listening. His head was down, his eyes were on his paper, and he overlooked critical points. One day, I advised him, Kareem, in TOEFL listening, your aim is not to jot down everything. Your aim is to catch the big idea and some key details. He changed his note-taking style. And in 1 week, his listening score jumped from 17 to 24. Simple TOEFL note-taking system. You best need to write 3 things. Topic, main idea, 2-4 vital details. That's it. No lengthy sentences, no perfect spelling, no pressure. Think of your notes like a map, not a full tale. Here's a brief instance. Imagine the audio says, whales migrate long distances for food, journeying from blood water to heat water. Their motion depends on ocean temperatures. Your notes should look like this. Topic, whales. Main idea, migrate for food. Details, blood to warm, follow temperature. Simple, clear, fast. Why this works? Your brain stays focused. You don't waste time writing full sentences. You capture the information the test will ask about. You feel calmer because your notes are organized. Taking tips. 1. Use arrows for movement. 2. Use symbols. Star equals important. Question mark equals unclear. Arrow pointing up equals increase. Arrow pointing down equals decrease. 4. Write short words, not full sentences. 5. Leave space between lines. 6. Do not try to understand every word. 7. After the audio, observe your notes for patterns. Remember, good notes are not beautiful. Good notes are useful. You don't need to be an artist. You don't need perfect handwriting. You only need attention and the courage to keep going. Your notes don't have to make sense to others. They only need to make sense to you. And believe me, you can do that. Definition. Organize means to arrange things clearly so they are easy to understand. Easy example sentence. I organize my notes by writing the main idea at the top and details below. How to listen for opinions.
Okay, Evelyn, this next one scares me a bit. Opinions. Because sometimes the speaker sounds confident, sometimes confused, sometimes angry, and I'm like, sir, what do you really want from me?
I know what you mean, but the good news, opinions are usually the easiest listening questions when you know what signals to look for. Let me take you into another quick story. The confused student in the university cafe. Imagine you're being attentive to a TOEFL conversation. A student is talking to her friend in the cafe. She says, honestly, I think the professor gave too much homework this week. I mean, I guess it's good practice, but still, it seems like too much. If you listen carefully, she gave her opinion twice, softly, gently, obviously. Not with a big statement, not with a clear sentence like, my opinion is. Instead, she uses opinion markers. And this is what TOEFL needs you to catch. Opinion signals you must remember. Evelyn lists them slowly. I think. I feel like. I guess. In my opinion. Honestly. It seems to me. I'm not sure, but. These phrases are like tiny flashlights in the dark. When you hear one, boom, you found the opinion.
So basically, when someone is unsure, they're probably giving an opinion.
Exactly. Opinions often sound soft, emotional, or personal. Facts sound strong and clear. But opinions, they feel human. Practice question. Audio summary. A student talks to a librarian about a new library rule. The student says, I know the school wants to keep things quiet, but honestly, I think the new rule is too strict. Question. What is the student's opinion about the new rule?
Too strict! Too strict! I got it!
Yes, because he said, honestly, I think. Opinion detected. Easy win. Simple definition. Opinion. Something someone feels or believes, not a fact. Easy example sentence. I think online classes are easier than regular classes. Tip. When you practice TOEFL listening, 1. Write down one opinion phrase every time you hear it. 2. Keep a notebook of opinion markers. 3. Train your ear to recognize emotional tone. 4. Don't write full sentences. Write keywords only. You don't need perfect English to catch opinions. You just need careful ears and a relaxed mind. Remember, TOEFL listening is not about listening to everything. It's about listening to the right things. You're doing great. Let's keep going. How to answer inference questions.
Okay, Evelyn, be sincere with me. Inference questions, are these the scary ones?
Yes, Paul. They scare many students. Because an inference question is not about what the speaker said, it's approximately what the speaker approach.
Ah, so it's like when my friend says, I'm no longer hungry. However, I recognize he wants my fries?
Exactly. That's a great example. Inference is all about reading among the lines. Let's enter a new tale. The professor who never says things directly. You're taking note to a TOEFL lecture. The professor is speaking about a field trip. She says, well, the climate reports don't appear amazing for the next day. We should still miss go, but it might be a little uncomfortable. She by never says, we have to cancel the trip. But if you pay attention, carefully her tone, her hesitation, her choice of phrases all point to one idea. She probably thinks the trip should be postponed. And that, right there, is what TOEFL desires you to figure out. How to recognize inferences. Evelyn explains gently. Inference is when the speaker hints at something without saying it without delay. Look for clues like hesitation, well, soft disagreements. I'm not sure if that's a very good idea. Emotional tone, stressed, worried, excited. Words that show uncertainty, like might, perhaps, should. I'm not convinced.
So, TOEFL isn't trying to test my English. It's checking if I can understand feelings and meaning?
Exactly. You're listening for hidden messages. Practice question. Audio summary. A student asks a professor if she can submit her assignment past due. The professor replies, well, technically the deadline is today. I can accept it tomorrow, but only with a small penalty. Question. What can be inferred about the professor's attitude?
He doesn't sound irritated. He sounds flexible.
Yes. The inference is he is willing to accept it, but not happily. He wants to follow the rules, but he's being kind.
Simple definition. Understanding something the speaker means, but does not say directly. Easy example sentence. From his tone, I inferred he didn't like the idea. Tip. To answer inference questions. 1. Don't panic. Listen for tone, not just words. 2. Ask yourself, what is this person really trying to say? 3. Notice hesitation, soft contradiction, or hidden emotions. 4. Write down just a key word, not the whole sentence. With practice, this becomes natural. You don't need perfect listening skills to understand inferences. You just need patience, attention, and trust in yourself. And remember, you already do this every day in real life. TOEFL only asks you to do it in English. You're improving with every step.
How to avoid the biggest listening mistakes.
Evelyn, I sense like I already make such a lot of errors. I'll possibly make extra. Is there wish?
Absolutely, Paul. Mistakes are part of gaining knowledge. But nowadays, we'll talk about the biggest listening mistakes and a way to keep away from them. If you understand them, you may nearly assure better scores. The student who panicked. There was a student named Leo. He knew all of the vocabulary. He understood the TOEFL listening layout. But at some point of the check, he panicked. He made 3 mistakes. 1. Trying to jot down each word. 2. Ignoring the primary concept. 3. Worrying when he neglected one detail. He ended up with lower ratings, not due to English, but because of simple mistakes. After learning how to avoid mistakes, he stepped forward his listening rating dramatically in only some weeks. Brain. Biggest mistakes and how to avoid them. 1. Writing everything. Mistake. Students write each word and pass over the next sentence. Solution. Write keywords most effective. Capture 20 to 30% of the audio. Focus on primary thoughts and crucial information. 2. Focusing on every word. Mistake. Thinking, I need to understand each word. Solution. Listen for meaning, not perfection. Missing a word doesn't mean failure. TOEFL only tests comprehension. 3. Ignoring structure. Mistake. Not recognizing conversations versus lectures. Solution. Identify kind first. Conversations are brief, friendly. Lectures are longer, academic. Structure guides your answers. 4. Panicking after missing something. Mistake. Freezing after one overlooked sentence. Solution. Say, let it go. Focus on the next point. You can answer many questions even if you missed a detail. 5. Not recognizing signal words. Mistake. Missing opinion markers, inference hendents, or key phrases. Solution. Listen for signals like I think, basically, remember, it appears to me. Tips. 1. Practice with real TOEFL audios. 2. Write simple notes, not complete sentences. 3. Train your ear to catch signal phrases. 4. Don't panic. Focus on one issue at a time. 5. Review errors and learn from them. Every mistake is a lesson. Every small practice session is progress. You are building listening muscles a way that will last a lifetime. Even small, consistent steps lead to big TOEFL victories. Definition. Signal word. A phrase or phrase that signifies important information or meaning in listening. Easy example sentence. When the professor says essentially, it signals the main idea.
If you're paying attention to this right now, I want you to hear me truly. You can master TOEFL listening. You don't need perfect English. You don't need to understand every word. You only need practice, focus, and self-confidence.
And remember, listening is like a muscle. The more you train, the stronger it gets. Every tiny effort counts. Even 10 minutes a day makes a difference.
Here's a challenge for today. Do one quick TOEFL listening practice, write 5 key words, and check your answers. Just 5 phrases, that's all. Tiny actions like this create big results over time.
And if you try this every day for a week, you'll notice your listening becomes faster, easier, and calmer.
Exactly. You can do this, and we believe in you.
Thank you for spending time with us today. We hope this lesson made TOEFL listening feel easy, friendly, and manageable.
Share one takeaway in the comments, maybe a tip, a word, or something new you learned today.
And don't forget to subscribe for more warm, easy, cinematic English lessons.
Keep practicing, keep growing. Every small step brings you towards your dream score.
Together,
Bye.